but I like the breathing practices through the day. I'm probably not doing it right, but tell us how this helps us. To explain to this, you said that that we're able to defer some things, but we discussed what each finger means. So how do we use that to our benefit?
So these are, we call it them the quick fixes. So when you are overwhelmed, or when you are in public and you're feeling like crying and you just cannot cry in front of a lot of people, then you can start holding your finger, and then you will feel that your emotions are coming down. And if you practice this every day, you will come to a level where all your emotions are balanced. And when you have the emotional balance, you think rationally. Your mind doesn't wander around when you're sitting in a prayer or a meditation. Your physical health gets better, because all the physical illnesses are just a surface problem, and there's a lot going on beneath it. So like as I said, with taking the medicines, uh, and the prescriptions from your doctor, you all need to balance the emotions as well. So when you hold these fingers like these, so they send the signal to the brain, and the emotions, they calm down. And once you are in an emotional balance state, like then everything is possible. So that's how it helps.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense to bring it to do it and bring it to a balance. And I can feel it now that you mention it. It makes sense. The definitions, I can feel the like. I was feeling very sad earlier, and when I feel the difference.
I was just going to say, when we heard the news about Dr. Sagu, you felt close to tears, and so maybe this would have helped. Then that would be a practical application.
Actually, you guys don't know this, but while my hands have been down, I've been squeezing them anyway because
Okay,
I
so
do it as a natural habit anyway. So,
for today, the new home play would be, you have to hold this point.
okay, right
You
here.
just have to make a V, and the point where the V comes together
Got it.
with little finger and the ring finger, you have to hold it with the three of your fingers like this, and
Oh,
then
three
look
fingers. Okay.
around clockwise, anti-clockwise, wherever. Just move your eyes, not your head, just your eyes. Hum a song for 5 seconds, your favorite song. Then again, look around. Your head still, only the eyes moves, and hum the song again, and take a nice deep breath in.
Wow.
How many times do you roll your eyes per
As many
minute?
times as you want.
Okay.
So for a few seconds, you need to roll it. We call it a nine gamut point, and I will share the steps with Ankit, and then he can broadcast it with all of you. The steps are very simple, and you just have to hold this point, and this also helps you calm a lot of emotions down. And as you can't just keep holding your fingers in public, so you can just hold this point, and no one will notice that what exactly you are doing. You don't have to shift your fingers. This is again a short, a quick fix when you are in overwhelm. And when you practice these things daily, this will add up to your overall health,
Right.
mental health and emotional health and physical health as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I need this because I get into rages sometimes. Yeah, so I need that.
Sure, I'll share the
I'm
steps
not
with.
politically correct either, Rakesh. I was told that this week. And I might be right, but I was not politically right.
Yes.
So I got my hand slapped. And this has nothing to do with IBM TV. This has to do with because I got very angry, and I got angry because um, there was no. It's survival kicks in, right? There was no way out because these people have complete immunity, like a king. So anything they do, even if it was, but I was told you're 100% right. All the evidence is incriminating against them, but there's nothing you can do about it. And in fact, you behaved very wrong, and now you're going to have to go apologize to them. And even though they are wrong and they know it, so yeah, I was very angry, and I was trying very hard to
Control.
keep doing the right. Well, and I was trying to do
put the mask up.
right. I was trying to do the right thing, and I was very, very hard because I was always trying to be compliant and try, but it kept no, you can, and so anger. But they corrected me in saying that you were not politically right. So what happens, right, is you have to accept, and that's the hardest part, right? To because eventually you have to look at, and I think this was told to me yesterday by somebody very, very wise, is you have to sometimes just look at the best way out, right, and move on. And whether you're right or wrong, or it's not going to be a good ending,
Cut your losses.
You have to cut your losses. And sometimes though those losses seem way too big, right? And
no, my heart goes out to you.
Well, sometimes you have to fight that fight another day, right?
Yes.
But we'll see. But it's been a huge learning experience. But I find myself doing exactly what you say to do. So maybe somewhere in my lifetime this was taught to me, and and I find myself going for the middle finger and the little finger a lot more than the others. So, but it's interesting. You say, the sad, if we grab that one, maybe that has calmed me down today too. So I was in tears when we turned on the airplane today. It was very, very hard to, and I'm not an emotional person. Most people will know I'm the kind of person to say, let's get, pack up our stuff and go take care of this problem. Let's be together. But we can't do that. See, our hands are tied, right? And I'm so used to just saying, fine, I'll get on a plane and go help, right? I can't do that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the problem with everyone, right? We're used to not just having a purpose, but having pride in that purpose. And that purpose is to what? Care for people and to help them and to take pride in that. But none of us can do that. And it's not that I'm afraid I'll get it. We just can't travel, But so we got to find other ways, and maybe talking about it today, that we're going to make a card to make them happy, right? And send them our prayers and our best wishes, and hope that they get the right treatment, and we'll go forward with that. But these are very good things that maybe we need to get in practice of every day. Maybe have like a 15-minute session every day that we do this. Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like every morning.
I would love to do it whenever you want. I would love to do a guided meditation with everyone.
I love it. Every morning for 15 minutes, we start off with, good morning and a prayer and breathing, and go tackle your day. It might be good to do it at night too. Well, it would be night. It would be evening for Ankit. So Ankit will be getting it for bed, and I would be getting it for the kickoff of my day. Yeah. But and Jim is somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah, but I'm connected. I'm still connected.
Yeah, so actually, you'd be earlier, so because you get up really early to do this, and so I thank you for that. So yes. I am.
What's happened to Dr. Sagu?
He positive for COVID.
Oh, Dr. Sagu and his wife both are COVID positive.
Oh dear. Well, thankfully they're young.
Yes.
And they're doctors, so they know how to overcome the situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of the patients, it carried to them, and that's what happening especially in Delhi. So situation is not good.
3,000 cases today in Delhi, isn't it? 3,000 cases.
More than that. I mean, there are a lot of cases which are not reported, and it's not a good. Oh, yeah. So in some of the areas, I'll tell you, Rakesh, in some of the areas, we have military deployed in Delhi.
You what?
We have military, the army deployed.
Yeah.
Army. Why is the army deployed?
Because people are
Discipline.
going out. Those are containment zones, and people are going out. So that's what it is. I mean, to stop them going out spreading viruses or to carry the virus, we have to do that.
But that's happened even in New Zealand. The army's been deployed for in some parts of New Zealand because of the recent research. Those two British ladies who came and reinfected New Zealand, so they've had to bring out the army to restrict movements in certain parts of New Zealand.
I've had a question about all of these people who somehow or another are being, I hate using the word blamed, but blamed for reinfecting the world. Why wasn't there policies put in place at an airport somewhere to test before people travel? I'm just having an issue that the government wants to blame people, and at this point we should have policies in place that people can't be blamed. But
the policies were there in New Zealand, but they came in because their father was dying, the two ladies, and normally it's a 14-day quarantine, but because they on compassionate grounds they were allowed to go out, and it's just unfortunate. I think it's a very hard call, because when your parent is dying, for a government official to say tough luck, you're not going to see him, it's a really hard call.
We just went through that. My father-in-law, and we couldn't visit him, and we couldn't hold a service for him. So
we've experienced several of those here, and even the husband and wife couldn't say goodbye to each other. They separated them, and they were elderly. And Dr. Arthur told that story. But here's the infected rates, and again, you have to take into effect how many tests are done. So there might be more, right, than what we see, but it is definitely has not plateaued anywhere, any country. We see the rates going up. We had that letter from what I call a chief medical officer or an executive of a hospital, and she even wrote, if we do not wait until we see 0 infections before we open up, we are going to more than quadruple our rates and won't be able to manage them in the hospitals when we hit July. It will be more than what we can handle. And she was right. She was absolutely right. And I discussed this with another doctor, and they agreed that if we are not taking the precautions necessary until, and what all she was saying is we needed to bring it down to a baseline, that a 0 start, right? Just bring it down. Doesn't mean that they're gone. It just means our new infected rates have been tested 0, that we've controlled it. But nobody wanted to do that. I will tell people, if you want to engage in doing business right now, that in the United States, Trump has kind of already put in place a policy for anyone to do anything with the big rally he's having today. And to me, all you would have to do is just get everybody to write a release that comes into your establishment that they are there to enjoy themselves, and that they won't sue if they get infected.
Kimberly, I apologize, but I must leave now. I'm due for my Reiki session, and so if Sensei Kumar leaves after me, you'll know why. I must say goodbye. It's great to be with you.
Thank you so much. Go enjoy your Reiki.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So it's quite interesting that there is such a high infected rate. I think that what we do, if we do a prayer every day and maybe do some Reiki practices, maybe we can help get people to do it with us and help calm everybody down, either at the end of the day before they go to bed or early in the morning before they go. So is Jim doing Reiki classes with you?
No, he hasn't started.
Okay. So no, I think that's great. I was going to say, wow, that is awesome. I think we all need.
Jim is also into healing in some sense, and
yeah, he has learned. He has learned Reiki level 1.
yeah.
He shared with
And
us.
then he has some clients with whom he do these sessions.
Yeah,
I think
no,
every
I think
Saturday.
it's great. I think it's awesome. I think that, again, don't talk it, walk it, right? That's what he's doing. Like he said, walk the talk. So,
And I have a quick question for Anima before she leaves. What do you think about a good hug? Because a lot of people, they don't know what do you mean by hug and why people hug each other. And I think this is one of the best practices, or maybe share of love or peace. So what do you think about a hug?
Okay, so a lot of people, they are not physical, so they will not like you hugging them.
Yeah, yeah.
But when there are two types of hug, and by hugging someone, you will know that what they are seeking from you just by hugging them. So when they come and hug you on the left side, the head is on your left side, it means they are looking for love, affection from you. And when they are hugging you from the right side, it's more business sort of stuff like strength, confidence, courage.
okay.
So yes, a good hug, and if somebody needs the hug for love, you have to hug them. You should hug them on the left hand side. Your head should be on their left hand side, and if the confidence, strength, and all these sort of things they want, it has to go on right side.
Interesting. Now I'm trying to think when I hugged people in the past, which side did I?
It will always differ. It will always differ because it is very much in that moment that what exactly you need from that person. So in a group of 10, you might have only one person on the left side and rest of the nine on the right side, because you need the love from one person and the nine are for strength, confidence, and other stuff.
But we can't hug anymore, right? So, we're gonna be, and I'm gonna lean over.
So when we can't hug, Ankit, I just wanted to know, we have some sign languages here in IBM TV. What do we have for love?
This.
For love, we have this.
That's our hug.
Okay, great.
That's our hug.
Yeah, okay. So I just wish to introduce this, and this is for unconditional love.
Okay, unconditional love.
And you will send this unconditional love to anyone and everyone, even if they are infecting someone or they are infected, if they are carrier or a patient, um, maybe someone at a very high post of or high level of the society, or maybe at the lowest level of it. No matter who the person is, we have to send them the unconditional love. There was a war going on Twitter that we should boycott China and do a lot of stuff because they have spread this pandemic. But even when you think about them, you have to send this unconditional love. You do not have to see them with a hatred, because if we keep continuing doing this, like spreading the hatred, that okay, I understand it is very difficult for us to forgive someone if they have done something wrong, but the peace which we get after forgiving them is priceless. It's really priceless. So this is up to you guys if we use this unconditional love. So this was my last message for today.
Thank you so much. Maybe let's see. I mean, I know it's a lot of work, but maybe we can figure out something where we can do a prayer every day. And we'll just focus on that. If you want to continue talking, because I know you're very busy, we can do talking as well, panel talks. But even if it's just a routine, a discipline. And thank you so much.
I would love to do it. I would love to do it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll call her Mama Kamur. So there you go. Sensei.
Thank you.
Many blessings.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
She's so beautiful. And I'm glad she let her hair down. I had noticed that. In fact, I didn't recognize her. Because I remembered her with her hair pulled back. And I go, wow, she is just so strict and so professional. And then the next time I see her, I go, who's that? And then I'm looking at the name and I go, oh my gosh, this is so So yeah, it's a big difference. She's got beautiful hair. So, but that was an interesting conversation. I'm holding an award I got many years ago, and I used to laugh about it. It's an envelope opener, right? I mean, how often do we? It's beautiful though. It's gold plated, and it was from Fujitsu. And sometimes when I get these things, they just remind me that I do have value, right? Like sometimes I'll go to open up an envelope and I'll use this, and I'll go, I did have value, right? I did do something great. I did do something pretty phenomenal at one time. And I think sometimes we get beaten down so much that, we forget. And it's like we said this the other day, you can do a million great things for people, a million, and you make one little mistake, and your whole world, everything you built could be lost. One little mistake. And it might not even be intentional. It might have been accidental. It might have been just something that you didn't know or didn't have knowledge of at the time. Or it might just be somebody's being pure mean to you and tripping you up. It could be any, but you feel like you've lost value, and it can happen real fast because that tumble can happen really hard. But yeah, so that was a great time in my life. I always tell people that was probably one of the better times in my career, other than when I invented some of my own things. But those were a lot of work. I'm not going to say this wasn't work. This was the first fiber network turnover in the United States. But I certainly felt appreciated. Like every time I turned around, there were bonus checks. There were little things like that. This is what I'm saying. I felt appreciated. Little things like this, right? Pins. I got all kinds of little pins to remind me of like little awards. So yeah, it's one of those things. Appreciation, but we don't get enough of that while we're in COVID. We don't get any appreciation, do we?
We don't get it even without COVID. everybody's just, it's such a rat race.
It is a rat race. There's not that much appreciation out there. But when you teach, you get some form like from the students, right? Sometimes you get a thank you very much.
Oh yes,
Sometimes
yes.
You don't, but most of the time your reward is there because you see them grow, you see them learn. Excitement that they figured out that formula and figured it out.
Absolutely.
So, but in day-to-day life, if you left your teaching in day-to-day life, there's not that much appreciation. So we need to change that, right?
Yes. I just sent a messenger wave to one of my students whom I taught when he was a 15-year-old, and he's now 25 years old. And he sent me a message which I was very surprised and very touched, because he said that, you've been a role model for me. And I was, after 10 years, he's now a 25-year-old young man. And I was very touched when I got that message. I just think it's so kind of him to have acknowledged it. Yeah, it's very kind of him.
That's wonderful. And that's a different feeling, basically.
Very different feeling. Yes.
Yeah.
Made my day.
Those little things do. I was reading, I'm still reading the story on the World War and the refugees that survived. There's a couple that are nearing their hundreds, and the story is just fantabulous. It's very depressing at times, but to hear them, how they came out of it. And the one lady said that the only regret she has in life is the woman who saved her. She never got to go back and thank her. Right? That there was a woman, her father dropped her off to be hiding, right? And this was a big risk on this woman. And anytime the police came in, she had to be put into the outhouse under, right? And hushed. And then when the police left, they would bring her back out. And they took very, very good care of her until, I guess, some invasion happened. And then her mom was but her dad was killed. Her dad was sent to the gas chamber. But she said she regrets that she never got to go back and thank those people. And so sometimes just getting that little, that makes them feel good, but it also makes you feel good to be able to thank people. So it's, I'm reading this story. Sometimes I ask myself, why am I doing this? Because it could be so depressing, but I'm also reading the resilience, right? The resilience factor. And we got a special guest coming on. Um, in our world that brings us a lot of fun music and happiness and fun talk and a mask. Every time I see you, you got the coolest mask, Zach. Hi.
How you guys doing? I'm just getting prepped. I'm gonna run to the store and grab my energy drink and get to my private spot. Be ready to go. Tish Oakley from Earth Monkey Energies is in the house. Funk from the Front Seat on IBM TV. We're gonna definitely get lit today.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
and everybody that's out there, supporting this thing. And you guys got a tremendous platform. IBM TV is the way of the future. We're going to get everybody in this funky thing. So it's going to be lit today for sure. I'll be right back.
All right. Go with Zach, you don't need a drink. You don't need a help. He's got enough energy for the ever ready.
All right. Yeah.
I'm loving it. So he don't need a happy drink. He's already happy. I watched a guy yesterday. I went to the grocery store and I watched this guy go get 2 cases of Mountain Dew. I don't know if you know what Mountain Dew is.
Yes, I do.
It's the highest caffeine in the sodas, right? Everybody thinks it's Coke, but it's not. Mountain Dew is like the kick butt and caffeine. And I know this because I used to drink it many, many years ago when I worked all the 24 hours like Ankit does. That was like my drink for a while. And then I gave up sodas, right? I just it's not good for you. But I was watching this guy and I'm like, not 1 case, 2 cases. But sometimes people drink that high caffeine for happiness, right? And we're all kind of sitting low back. Look at Zach. I mean, but you got to know what Zach's been doing, right? He's not been sitting around feeling sorry for himself when he could be, right? There's a lot of things going on. We don't know what's going on in Zach's life, right? We don't know that rent's due or what, but he's out there making other people happy, and look how happy he is, right? This is exciting. And Zach and I are going to start another talk show. We're working on it, a new talk show about space. And because we both share the curiosity of aliens. I call it a curiosity, right? Because science says they do and science says they don't. So to me, it's a curiosity, right? It doesn't mean anything other than we feel like there's something worth talking about. But there's a lot of people out there who believe in it, and even NASA, right? So
I think there's a probability, very good probability that you have aliens. It's if you do the statistics, there's a very, very good probability.
I think dolphins are aliens.
Yeah.
Have you?
I don't know whether we ourselves are aliens. So,
I think we're a petri dish. I think we're an experiment. Yeah. I really do. Yeah. I used to think when I was younger, I used to think we were an experiment. And somebody because have you ever read the book Dr. Seuss or seen the Dr. Seuss?
Yes, I have.
You remember the
read
story?
Some of his books, The Cat in the Hat and things like that. No.
Yeah, but the little dust speck, right? And you never know
I didn't remember.
I gotta get you that book. So what it is about worlds living in worlds, right? Yes. Well, the elephant finds a dust speck talking to it. He could hear it because of his big ears that nobody else could hear. So the elephant's holding this flower with a dust speck, and everybody goes, "Just get rid of it." No, I can't. There's life in here. No, there's not. Yeah, I can hear them. They're talking, and they're like, "Please save us! Please save us! Don't do anything." And everybody thinks he's crazy, right? It's called Horton Hears a Who. I'll get you the book. But Horton heard the Who, and he couldn't kill them. And so everybody disowned, made fun of him, picked on him. So great book. I take books way too serious, even as a kid. But like The King in the Wardrobe, that was another one of my favorites. That the king can do no wrong, but there's always that voice that says, "Wait a minute, you're doing so." But Horton Hears a Who is about how worlds can. Because here's what's funny: after Horton saves them in the dust speck, one of the little people found a dust speck that says, "Help, save us." So I got it. It's Horton Hears the Who. It's a kid's book. You can read it in 5 minutes, but it's perfect, right, for this analogy of I believe there's something out there or in here, right? I believe that dolphins are a form of intelligent life form.
Oh, absolutely. They've got a bigger brain than us.
But they're smart. Like they
Very.
They can communicate with us, and they reach out to save. Like not many species will intervene to save other species. They don't do that unless they're trained to. But dolphins are not trained to
Yes,
intervene.
correct.
And they do.
That's true.
They've been known to rescue babies. They've been known to rescue boats. They've been known to, rescue people from sharks.
Yes, from sharks.
So, there's a lot to be said about a species of an animal like that. I don't think we give them enough credit. Have you ever been in a research center with them?
No, I have never been.
I would love to get you in one because of your science intrigue.
Yeah, I am so proud that New Zealand recognizes all forms of life as sentient. All animals it recognizes as sentient, and I feel that it should be the world standard. The way we wouldn't have this virus if you said even any animal we eat has got feelings.
Exactly.
And if I'm strongly and I have another friend who's whom I'm close with, who we really want to turn vegan because it is first good for the planet. That's the first thing. And we are already borrowing the resources from the future generations. So we really need to take some serious steps. Electric cars, firstly. And then after that, I want to turn vegan because I think, we just, too many of us. If we were 200 million as a whole human species, maybe we still have a chance. But we're just too many. We've just eaten up the whole planet.
Well, we not only that, we produce more than what we dispose of. A lot that we've produced, which probably isn't as healthy either, right? So we produce all this stuff that should be consumed, and then it's disposed of. So there's not a balance, and I don't think any superior being that put us on this earth would appreciate the way we are treating it.
Wasting things, yes.
Right. A waste is not good, and abuse. Okay, so there's abuse and there's waste, and I think we abuse our authority while we're here, and waste. And I think you word it so much better than me because you're definitely a higher educated scientist than I am. But
just another person.
I know, but I love your analogies. And you're right. I think we don't respect them. I used to think alligators were not sentimental. But then I learned that actually they will never forget you, ever. So if you've done something to them, they're going to hunt you down, just like the story of Peter Pan with the tick tock, tick tock. So there's a reason for stories, right? And that story was to educate us that alligators are never going to forget you. And I didn't believe that. I really didn't until I got older and I learned that they really don't forget. So,
alligators, Moby Dick, the whale.
The whale.
The whale and elephants. Elephants are very well known to do that. Lion. People who have let the lion into the wild and then have met them after 10 years. And they have just come back and hugged the people. There's a YouTube video on it,
Because
yes, they remember, So And if you've had one dog, you know.
Yeah. So
If you had one
I've
dog,
had
you know.
one, two. I've had three, but I can't stand when they do pass on. So I've decided not to get any more. The last one was too devastating for me.
Yeah.
So everybody wants me to get another one. They're great. They're great companions, and maybe I will. But I traveled too much, and I didn't think it was fair for the animal.
Yes.
That if I'm not there or somebody is not there 24/7 with them. I think animals need people. So
they feel lonely too, and you know, we had a dog here in Hong Kong, Flo's dog. It was before well before I came into her life, and he was lovely. He was a little pug, very cute, and passed away in 2015, and Flo was devastated, and I was sad because he was a lovely dog. He was really intelligent and very charming, and I was his cook. Flo was the star of his life. I was his cook.
the animals know who and how to treat everyone.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I went through the same thing, and after the loss of that last one, I never felt a harder sense of wanting to die myself. And I said, I can't do that again. So I like you, but one day I might get older and want that companionship again, because they're great companions,
Yes.
And I know people, they'll get a dog and they'll go, the dog's alone home all day. Dogs they're not dumb by any means, but they're kind of goofy and curious, right? So they get them a cat to keep them company or babysit them, right? So I got this
yeah. In New Zealand, they will not sell you, pugs, especially pugs, because they're so social. New Zealand pug breeders will not sell you a dog if one of you is not at home.
Right.
You have to be at home.
I believe this is what I tell people. If I cannot be at home and responsible for that animal, I'm not going to do it. Because everybody goes, oh, just do it. And I'm like, no, I mean, I'm not going to crate an animal. That's not how I do animals. And, but I've got a video of a cat and dog. I'm going to share. You might have seen it, but it's the cat, the dog is there. And the cat goes, oh, wow. And then the dog goes like this, and it's a real video. I'm like, how long had somebody had to sit there and wait for that to happen?